Support comes from Hampton Roads Community Foundation, carrying out your charitable wishes forever, whether it's helping shelter animals, feeding the homeless, enhancing the arts, or supporting students. Learn more at leaveabequest.org.
Hello, everyone. I'm Barbara Hamley. Up next on Another View, the two youngest guests we've ever had on our show, and they are the subject of a book. Later in the broadcast, you'll meet Cam and Cari, the stars of Two Witty Girls, quotes from two sisters. Along with their mom, they've captured their outlook on life. Be prepared to be inspired and to laugh out loud. Oh, and their mom, she's leadership and wellness coach Charese Josie, and she's back with some advice on maneuvering life as we change seasons. Stay tuned for an hour of mental wellness and self-care. That's next on Another View, right after this news from NPR and WHRO News.
Discussing today's topics from an African-American perspective, this is Another View.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Another View. I'm Barbara Hamley. You're in for a treat when we talk with the youngest ever guests on Another View. Cam and Cari are preteens who inspired a book that captures how they see the world starting when they were babies. We'll talk with them a little later in the program. But first, we're so happy to bring back to Another View their mom. She's a licensed clinical therapist, leadership coach, consultant, speaker, author, and owner of CJ Counseling and Consulting Services. I'm talking about Ms. Charese Josie. Hey, Charese.
Hi.
Thanks so much for coming back to join us again. How you doing?
Good. So excited to be back.
Good. Absolutely. So wanted to talk today about some tips and some ideas that we can do because school started this week, and I'm sure there are tons of households out there where moms and dads might be a little stressed, right? Because the seasons have changed, you know, the routine has changed, everything is going on, and, you know, how do you keep from tearing your hair out?
I'm going to start with grace, right? Grace. And I would like to think about it in terms of energy. What's the energy of you? What's the energy of your household? And we have to think this also a change for the kids, right? They're in the new grade. Even if they're in the same school, it's a new grade. It's a new teacher. We don't know what the friends. And so sometimes I have to tell myself, and I encourage clients to tell themselves, first, let's just take the pressure off. Is everyone well? Yes. Is everyone fed? Yes. Are we doing the best we can? Yes. Maybe everyone's not going polished. We're not in a good mood. We're not like, yay. But guess what? We are well. And we're going to ease our way into this process because at some point it'll become normalized. And you're not going to realize when it become normalized. We just kind of flow into that part of it, right? So in the beginning, grace. Because we're going to get there. We're going to get there.
You're going to just take your time with it.
Take your time.
So I know that there's advice, and it's too late now, but when they will say to parents, start a week or 2 weeks ahead of time in terms of changing a schedule and so forth. So if you didn't do that, are there some things beyond grace that we need to think about in terms of trying to help ease not only our children but ourselves, because we get anxious because we know the school bus is going to be there at 7:30 and then I've got to be at this meeting at 8:15 and you know and so how do we manage that?
One thing I would encourage parents to do is to wake up earlier. And not in terms of time, in terms of your mood. How much time does my mood need to be so that I can have patience? I'm just going to pause on patience for a hot second. Patience for my kids to get up and ready and out the door. So I might get myself up maybe about 30 minutes earlier. And whatever I need to do in that time is to calm my moods. When I wake them up, I am having a good energy so they can have good energy. And my goal is I stay on task. I set the time. You're going to meet the Two Witty Girls later on. But we have timer. Okay, brush your teeth. Set the timer for 2 minutes. And I have the timer in front of them. They got 2 minutes. So they know they have this window of time to do this. All right, next one is whatever. The next step to getting out the door. And each one has a timer. Okay, now we're downstairs. What's our routine to get out the door? We're on a time, right? So we don't want to do it all inclusive. So if you get them up at 7:45, so we need to be out the door by 8:30, I would encourage you to break that down. But whatever works for your child. Right. So mine is in task, and they've learned that in task. Right. You got this much time to use the bathroom. For some reason, they sit on the bathroom and go over their thoughts. I don't know why we're still sitting here. Let's move it. Right. So I give them a time for the bathroom. Then we have a time for brushing our teeth and just the next steps. And that helps in my mind. OK, I know we're getting out the door at this time, and allow some grace period because we're not going to keep in that time. Right. We're doing the best we can. I said, okay, if I do this, I still have an extra 5 minutes if we're still running behind for whatever reason, right? Them thoughts come back. They start reviewing their lives, and I don't know why you still don't have your shoes on, right? Allow some extra time so that you have some grace when you can start your day and have some time to exhale.
And when you get upset with them, shouldn't you be giving yourself some grace too?
Absolutely. And that's what that 30 minutes is for. And I always add maybe 5 to 7 minutes on the back end to allow myself some woosah time so I can transition into whatever my day looks like. I don't want to rush because however we set the morning is our pace for the entire day. So I need to have that same pace so we have emotional and physical time for the end of the day. And so we want to use all that energy in the morning for ourselves or our kids.
Yeah. This is a time of the year too where professionally sometimes we may be taking a look at where we are in terms of our careers, in terms of what we're doing in our lives. Is this the right time to, on top of everything else that's changing, to start analyzing that too? Or should you hold off and do one thing at a time?
So, one of the things about adults, right, for grown folks is that we think we can handle a lot, but our bodies will tell us differently. Our minds will tell us differently, and so will our emotions, but we don't always know till later on. Right? That they're like, wait a minute, I wasn't prepared in September for these 3 changes you want me to do. Right? So one thing at a time. So whatever the large thing is, make the large thing the main thing. Right? And so one of the things I learned from one of my mentors is that a lot of times we have fractured focus. Right? Have one thing, and he used the analogy of spinning a plate. Right? You have this plate going, and you keep this plate spinning. When that's going, now we move on to the other one. Right? Have one thing going. And once that's settled, we have a routine. Now, what's our next thing? Let's not have fractured focus. If the parents have fractured focus, so does the kids, so does your household, so does the energy in the household. Keep the main thing the main thing.
But Charese, how do you then feel like, because sometimes, even though you want to put things into buckets and do them one at a time, things overlap,
Right.
or they come at you. So what do you need to do to maintain your sense of equilibrium, even though, you got to deal with all of this?
I am so glad you said that because what it was, we want to keep things in balance, but we have to keep things in a rhythm, right? Balance says I can balance all these things at one time. Well, probably not. Probably not.
Exactly.
And some things are a lot heavier than other things at different times. So what's the rhythm that you need to keep? Like, well, if I feel like I'm out of rhythm, and rhythm, when I say rhythm, is different. If the rhythm impacts your sleep, you're out of rhythm. Wait a minute, this is impacting my sleep. If the rhythm is impacting your mood where you feel like you have less patience, you're more irritable, and you know it, and your kids know it, now I'm out of rhythm. What do I need to do to get back in rhythm? Maybe I need to get up a little bit earlier. You know what? Do I really need to do this one thing that I was going to do right now? Maybe not. Maybe not. Yeah. We're well. Not as good as where we want to be, right? But we're well. Maybe I can hold off on this other thing to get me back in rhythm. And once I'm back in the rhythm, okay, let's see what I can put something else to the side to add something else, right? But I want us to maybe move away from to keep things in balance because we have so much going on. It's the rhythm we want to keep.
Yeah, keep that going. And I know that also this could be an anxiety-driven time too because the holidays are coming. You're starting to think about, do I have the money for gifts? What about if you have family dynamics
right.
that may be a little shady and you're trying to decide,
Right.
where are we going for Thanksgiving and what are we doing for Christmas, and all of that rolls into it too. So when you find yourself getting anxious, some woosah moments.
Yes, definitely some woosah moments. But I would also encourage people to monitor your own expectations of yourself, right? Because we think, because it's the holidays, we need to spend all this money. We need to be around family members that we haven't seen all year round, but all of a sudden we need to be around each other for a whole week for Thanksgiving and Christmas. Where's that expectation coming from? From ourselves, right? So if I think about last year, do I remember what gift somebody got me last year? I really don't remember, right? I don't, and as well as I don't remember who I really gave gift to and how much I spent, right? So largely when we do this, it's our own pressure that we're putting on ourselves, and really it's about the connection, right? Now we have different family dynamics. Some people we may not really want to be around that long. You decide how much time and capacity you have. Am I available for dinner? What time is dinner? Knowing your family, you decide when to show up, right? But you determine how long am I going to spend my time with my family. I'm going to allow 2 hours. You allot those 2 hours. What do you have to do with those 2 hours? I don't know. Have time with your couch. It doesn't matter. Your emotional capacity is those 2 hours, and make that okay. And you do your connection in that time. It's, what, I can't make it for dinner, but I can come a little bit after for dessert, celebrate with you all, but then I'm going to have to head out.
So in other words, set boundaries.
Set boundaries,
for
yes.
yourself.
Yes. And preface it, right? Because you don't want to have anxiety during the whole moment. So let somebody know, yes, I can come for a couple hours and I'm going to head out. But yes, I would definitely love to be there. Already set what you can do so you don't have anxiety. When am I going to leave? What am I going to say?
How am I going to get out of here?
Right. What's my exit strategy, right? Just go ahead and plant the seed ahead of time for your exit strategy out.
People think of self-care as selfish. How do we get around that? How do we change that mindset? Or is it selfish?
See, Ms. Barbara, you got me good, right? Because I'm thinking it's not selfish, right? I do think, what do you consider self-care? Because if your self-care is maintenance, and I put in maintenance like for women, getting our nails done, pedicure, those type of things. We feel good, absolutely. But there's also time, money, but we feel good. If your self-care comes into this is where I have the most emotional clarity, where I can have the relationships that I want, I can feel the way that I want, I can parent the way that I want, you're going to want to be selfish because the output, right, is greater than that moment that you're taking, right? If I'm going to say, okay, I have to leave my kids, I'm taking the pedicure or something like that, maybe there might be some, guilt if people feel that way. But if I'm doing something for my mental health, for my emotional well-being, that means I can be a better mother, I can be a better wife, I can be a better role, I can be a better me. Oh, I'm going to take this time. If someone says I'm selfish, then that's really an issue with the relationship. It has nothing to do with the time that I'm taking, right?
That's very interesting. Because you're right. A lot of people, myself included, I love getting my pedicures and manicures, for example. But I look at it as time for me to just think. Or not,
right?
Because sometimes you're so busy thinking about everything that you don't give yourself a chance to relax or to really get a good assessment of what's going on.
Yeah.
So if you take that time to really do something to enhance yourself so that you can be better for others, that's what.
Absolutely.
That's the point.
Right. I was having a conversation with someone recently, and one of her things was, I really need to lose weight. A lot of us fit in that category, right? Me included. I definitely lose weight. And I said, man, that sounds like a lot of pressure. It sounds like a lot of pressure. I said, what if you say, I want to feel good? Because why do we want to lose weight? Some is for health, yes. But a lot of times because we want to feel good, we want to look good. So if I want to feel good and look good, I can start practicing that feeling now. I want to lose weight, so maybe I'm going to go walking 3 days a week. What days? I don't know. I'll figure out when the week comes. Right? If you say I'm going Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, you don't make it Monday, now all of a sudden you feel bad about yourself. Are you going to go Wednesday and Friday? Probably not, because you started a day off upset with yourself because you didn't go Monday. That's why I say go 3 days a week. And then keep it low, right? If you're in the beginning stage, say I'm going to go walking for 40 minutes. If you make it 50 minutes, great. You went above and beyond for you. Now you feel even better about yourself, right? And your relationships. right?
Wow.
Don't say I'm going to go to the gym 5 days a week. That's a lot. I'm going to go 3. If you make it 4, guess what? You winning.
Bonus. Yeah,
Bonus
absolutely.
time, right? And then if you lose weight on the back end, here we go, another bonus. We got 3 bonuses because you took up all those expectations.
So how much of this is our own conversation with ourselves?
That internal dialogue, right? That internal dialogue, and shifting those messages and shifting that we need to put everything right now. Everything's not right now. If you think about people who really go, and I'll just use a weight loss example again, they're like, look, this is a year later. It took them a whole year to have visual results for someone from the outside to see. But their end result started before that year, before they posted that before and after picture.
Exactly.
Right. And so we put all these pressure on ourselves, but it's the process that really matters. But we get so focused on the outcome. And that's the part that gets us stuck and make us feel like that we're not doing something right, because we're like, oh, the outcome. But what about the process? Because the process is going to last a lot longer. Once you get to the outcome, what are you going to do? Add more stuff to do?
Do you put more pressure on yourself if you talk to others about what you're trying to do? So in other words, should you keep it to yourself and kind of try to change your own mindset to feel positive about yourself, or do you need an accountability partner? Do you need somebody else so that they can either cheer you on or call you out if you
Right. right.
if you're not staying on track?
I think accountability is good, with the caveat that we have to be careful of who we're asking to be accountable for, right? We don't want someone to be accountable for us for something that they're not doing. That's an incongruent relationship that we don't want. But we say, hey, I want accountability for someone who's already doing the thing. They've already doing something where I want to get to, and I want to get mentoring from that and some accountability from me. Absolutely. Just make sure your accountability partner is incongruent with who you are.
757-440-2665 or 1-800-940-2240 are the numbers to call. What changes are you making now that we're going into this fall season? Give us a call and let's talk about it. 757-440-2665 or 1-800-940-2240. School's going back. Kids are already a little anxious just because it's new and so forth. But when or what should we be looking for that should cause concern versus a normal reaction to a new environment versus something else is going on and we need to be concerned about it?
Yeah, from a kid's perspective, kids aren't my thing, but if a kid's not anymore. I don't work with kids anymore. I used to, but definitely behavioral and mood changes. Right. And so if you're noticing that in your children, definitely take a pause and get some support in that area. If you're noticing it within yourself, definitely get some counseling or some support. Pause. I tell people, especially adults and the women that I work with, is that take a moment to hear your own voice. Right. Sometimes we get so caught up, we're moving so fast and we can't catch up, and that kind of adds some irritability because we feel like we're failing in some area and we just can't catch up. Just stop for a moment. Remember, I was talking about being in rhythm. Maybe there's something we need to take off that plate. Maybe one plate is spinning faster than the other plate, and we need to just slow that down. And then and decide, okay, I need to hear my own voice. What is it that I need to do? What is my routine looking like? Maybe I'm moving faster. I need to get up earlier. I need to go to bed a little bit later. I need to have a wind down time. Just take a moment to see what you're seeing and feeling. Move away from outcomes. We're not trying to solve a problem here. We're just trying to understand ourselves.
Say that again. I mean, I never thought about it that way.
Yeah, we're not trying to solve a problem. We're not trying to solve a problem. I tell people kind of be into the I don't know, I don't care. Sometimes we do have to say, I don't know and I don't care. Right now, all I know for sure is that I don't feel good. I don't feel my best. That's the only thing I know for sure. So my only focus right now is how can I feel better? I'm going to check in what part of me is stressed. Is my shoulders? Is it my neck? Is it my chest? Am I not eating? What is my measuring stick to say, you know what? Okay, now I'm taking care of myself. Now I'm taking care of myself.
Now, so when you get to that point, though, when do you know maybe I need to talk to somebody else? When do I get to a point where I go, okay, I need to call Charese? Or I need to find a therapist to help me to navigate this.
When you say I've done all I can, I think there's a song, right? When I've done all I can, right? I've done all I can and all of what I need to know. I need to step outside of myself, right? And maybe get something that maybe I don't know what I know I need to know, right?
How do you talk to someone if you notice that maybe their plates are spinning too fast, and they're not seeing it? I mean, should you point out some things or suggest that they might want to slow down or do some introspection, or does that make it worse?
If they want to, right? If they're open to it, and sometimes I look to see if people are really willing and want to. So, for example, like when I do counseling, I'll ask people why they're coming to counseling, because I want to know: do you want me to tell you that you're right, or do you want me to help you work through something? Or do you want me to help you solve a problem? So those are usually 3 different reasons why people come to counseling. But usually I go through it, whether it's personal relationships or professional, it's still a curiosity thing, right? Oh, well, have you thought about it this way? What if you try this way? And then you get the person thinking from themselves, because you don't want them dependent on you. I don't want people dependent on me. Even as a therapist, I don't want anyone dependent upon me. I want you to learn and teach you how to think for yourself. So I'm going to ask you curiosity questions.
Okay, so that's the person, the question. If you say, this is what I notice, or this is what I see, what do you think about that? Is that
right?
That the direction that you should go into? Well, in a couple minutes, we're going to bring on Miss Cari and Miss Cam,
okay,
to talk about Two Witty Girls. But I'm curious, you wrote down, these are all quotes and things that they said from 18 months or so, all the way through. Why write the book?
Yeah, good question. When I had, I always thought I would have a boy and a girl, right? In the early years, you kind of think of what life would be like. I would think a boy and a girl. And I didn't have a gender preference. I had an emotional preference. I was like, I have no idea what a mother-daughter relationship, healthy one, looks like. I have an older brother, so I don't know what 2 sisters relationship looks like. I always had maybe 2 or 3 friends at one time growing up. So I said, okay, I can handle a boy, and a girl. I think I can do that. That's my norm. So, first time, doctor said, you're having a girl. Oh, okay, I didn't expect a girl first, but okay, I can handle this. The second time when they said, you're having a girl, that was the quietest room. The nurse didn't know if we should speak. Everybody was quiet. But it wasn't a gender preference. It was an emotional preference of, I have to be a mother to 2 daughters. I have no idea what that looks and feels like. I was terrified. And then I have to nurture a sister relationship.
True.
I don't know what that looks like. And so my commitment to myself was one, like the grace we talked about earlier. And I said, I have to just stay in the moment. So as they would say and do funny things, I would put it on social media. I just thought it was funny. And then people started commenting and said, man, I really look forward to these posts. They really make my day. You should write a book. You should write a book. And I really dismissed it. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's a cute idea. And I'm still just writing things. But then when the pandemic and all this social unrest is coming up, and then those Facebook memories started coming back up. And then I remember feeling like, oh, this is still funny, and I needed this memory today because, a lot's going on within myself, family, world, everything. And so then I started seeing those comments again from back, like, why don't you put in a book? And at that moment, I thought, why not?
Why not?
And since I didn't have an answer, why not? I put it in the book. I said, this is going to be a family project.
How important is humor for our well-being?
Oh, very important. Find those times to laugh and just finding the joy, with the kids growing up, with them, myself. And, adulting is a lot. And we have to find time to laugh, right? What's the saying? If you don't laugh, to keep from crying. Sometimes you have to find these times to laugh. And the kids do a good job of just reminding me sometimes just to woosah. Right. Yeah. Especially in the morning times, I have, when I had a busy job, and I remember Cari was talking to me about how she think wash machines should be like rainbows. And I said, you know what? That is a good, why aren't wash machine colored? She's like, why are they white? I was like, that's a good question. But it took me so out of my adulting of the meetings I had to get to. And I said, in this moment, she just taught me to exhale. And I said, you know what, Cari, I don't know why washing machines aren't color like rainbows. That's a very good question. But it was a great start to my day.
Exactly.
You know?
If you're just joining us, we're talking about mental wellness with licensed clinical therapist Charese Josie. And when we come back, two more members of the Josie family, sisters Cam and Cari, join us. We'll be right back. And welcome back. Joining our conversation are the inspirations behind the new book, Two Witty Girls, Quotes of Two Sisters. Cam, who is 11. Hi, Cam.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
Good. And Cari, who is 10. Hi, Cari.
Hi.
How you doing?
Very good.
Good. Now, the book is a heartfelt collection of insightful quotes from the girls about overcoming challenges with grace and humor, fostering resilience, and embracing the spontaneity of childhood. Because I tell you, I've read your book, ladies, and I laughed out loud. So here's my first question to you. All the things that are in this book, and I'm going to read a couple of examples. Do you remember saying any of it?
No, not at all.
Not at all.
No.
So let me give our audience a perspective, a little bit of some of the things that are in here. So, Cari, when you were 1.5 years old, Mom said, "Are you going to be good and let Mommy wash your hair?" And you said, "No." And so the moment, now Cam, this is you at 2 years old. The moment Mom got excited, so you said, Cam, "Mommy, let's play the quiet game." I guess that means you just be real quiet, right?
Yes.
15 seconds later, "I lose, you win." So
you're still not good at the quiet game anymore. You're still not quite good at it.
Oh, I love it. Two sisters are telling each other. There you go. Let's see. Cam, this one was you. The kids know Daddy's government name pretty well. They knew mine at one time, but they haven't said it in a while. Time for a pop quiz. So Mom says, "What's Mommy's real name?" And Cam, you start laughing. And what did you say? Mrs. Josie. Do you know her first name?
Yes.
What's her first name?
Charese.
She's not wrong.
Cari, you are the little. Oh, I love this. This was one of my favorites that's coming up. Okay, so it says, "I want to pray for Cam because she's not listening." That's what Cari said. And then Cam, you said, "I want to pray for Cari for saying I'm not listening when I am listening." PSA, you cannot tell on your sister through prayer. So, when you think back, Mom Josie, on all of these things that they've said, this was another cute one. I gotta do this one. Cam, you were 2 years old when you said this one. "Mommy, are you charging your phone?" "Yes." "Like Daddy?" "Yes." "Mommy, you need to be a leader, not a follower." Where did that come from? And what was your reaction when she said that?
I said, well, she is listening.
So what do you ladies think about, what are people saying about your book, and what do you think about being a star now? Go ahead, Miss Cari.
I really like being a star. It's really not. It feels nice to be acknowledged sometimes.
Oh, and you are acknowledged in the home anyway, right?
Yes.
But it's nice to have strangers acknowledge you too.
Yeah.
That's good. What about you, Cam?
I like it. It's very funny, and I like it because people are coming up to me and are congratulating me and stuff like that, and I like it.
So now when you guys go back to school, are you going to tell everybody about your book? Are you going to use it for show and tell?
Yes.
Maybe.
Maybe? Why maybe, Cari?
Well, I don't want to do it. I want to wait a few weeks, maybe just like a few weeks before I do it, before I like tell everybody that like I have a book. I want to wait at least a few weeks.
You want to establish those friendships first. Is that what's going on? I see. 757-440-2665 or 1-800-940-2240 are the numbers to call to join our conversation. What do you want to ask these young authors in training? The inspiration behind the book with Two Witty Girls. 757-440-2665 or 1-800-940-2240. So Cam, this one says, this is you, Cam, at 2 years old. Cam using our words against us. So your dad says, stop going up and down stairs by yourself. And you said, anything is possible through Jesus Christ. Now, your husband is a pastor?
He's a deacon.
He's a deacon. Okay.
Their grandfather is a pastor.
Okay. So you all know a little something about church, huh?
Yes.
Right? Oh, okay.
I don't think Mommy does though.
Now, why would you? I'm not even gonna go there. Oh gosh! So there are so many more in here. I do have a question though. Now, I believe it was you, Miss Cari, who was describing your mother's job. Was she the one? Was it Cari?
Do you remember when I was teaching you how to be a therapist? And you had the notebook? And I said, okay, what would you say to the client?
I said, so what's your problem?
So is that what you do, Mommy, when you go
No,
into
ma'am.
therapy?
No, I said that's not what we talked about.
Speaking of that, though, what should people expect the first time they come in to see a therapist or to see you? I know you don't speak for all therapists.
Yeah. So the first session, I tell people give at least 3 sessions, right? Unless there's something that really is not a good fit for you. Mm-hmm. The first session is usually a get to know you, some background, those types of things. And by the 3rd session, you should know if there's a relationship rapport, if the therapist can assist you in the way that you need. But give a little space and some grace that is a getting to know. It's uncomfortable. You don't know what to say, those types of things. So after the 3rd session, then you can decide if it's a good fit. If you want, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But you probably don't start out with, what's your problem?
No.
757-440-2665 or 1-800-940-2240. Wanda joins us from Virginia Beach. Hi, Wanda. You're in the air.
Hello. Thank you for taking my call. I just have one comment. I've met these girls at the book launch, and they are delightful, and the book is amazing. It is. I give it 5 stars out of 2 stars. I give it 10 stars out of 5 stars. So I encourage everybody. You'll be delighted with their sayings.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for the call. We appreciate that. How does that make you ladies feel?
Great.
Very good. Absolutely. Yes. It really is delightful. I mean, I tell you. And the thing is, tell me about the artist who drew the picture.
The illustration?
Yeah, the illustration. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I know we got a lot of comments on the illustrator. I don't know the person. There's someone I helped with to get the book generated, and so she had an illustrator that she works with. So I don't know the illustrator personally, but did a really good job.
Yeah, very much so. They look. I mean, you just feel the thing. I'm looking for some of my favorite ones because I bookmarked like everything. So, what do you think about doing this as they grow older? Are they still saying cute sayings?
They still are saying things, yes. Yesterday and today. I don't know what it will look like. People will say, put in the part 2, do another book part 2. I don't know. Still in the moment, I still want to make sure parenting first, relationship first, and we'll see what goes from there. But if it comes up, we will definitely do it.
Okay, this is Cam at 2 years old. And I love how you put the age because you really can visualize you guys saying it. So forget it. So Cam is saying this to Cari. This is you bike. Mom says, this is your bike. So she's just correcting, right?
Yes.
No, Mommy, this is Cari's bike. Repeat. This is your bike. This is your bike. No, Mommy, this is Cari's bike. You just were not getting it, were you? Oh, gosh. There was one I was looking for. Now I can't find it. Where you told your dad. Oh, gosh. I'll find it eventually. But anyway, here's one. So his dad, and this is Cam at 3 years old. Okay. So Cam starts pointing to McDonald's. Daddy, can we go there? Not today, baby. 5 minutes later. Daddy, can we go there? And Cam is pointing now to the 7-Eleven. Dad says, do you have money? Cam says, no. Don't you have money? Dad said, no. Cam says, do you have your wallet? Yes, but I don't have any money in it. But you can pull out your wallet and pay with the thingy. Obviously talking about his bank card. She pays way too much attention. And the thing is, every parent can relate to that because we were in our production meeting this morning. Lisa was saying that her daughters would say, just write a check. Right. My daughter would say, just go to the bank. And then you had to explain, if there's no money in the bank, you can't take money out. So 440-2665 or 1-800-940-2240 are the numbers to call to join our conversation. Have you had a chance to run into these young ladies at the different farmers markets or fairs that are going on? That's where you've been pretty much marketing the book?
Yes, we'll be at First Fridays tomorrow night, and then we'll be at the farmers market in Portsmouth Saturday morning. So we'd love to meet you all in person.
Fantastic. Let's talk to Stephen, who's their grandfather's on the phone. Hi, Stephen. You're on the air.
Hello. How are y'all doing?
We're doing good. How are you?
I am great. Little hoarse, but I'm doing great.
I know.
Hey, how are you? Y'all are doing a great job.
Thank you.
So when you read the book, when you first read the book, Grandpa, what did you think?
Oh, it was delightful. Actually, I had to struggle with them. I was looking for a free copy, and they kept telling me fork over money.
Entrepreneurs in the making. There you go, ladies.
I refused to read it until I had my own copy. So once I paid for it, I stress paid. Once I paid for it, and then I sat and read it, and it was hilarious. Having read the comments before online, and then living around them, and their mom sometimes would send us texts, or their dad, send us texts or call us and say some of the cute things they said. So to see it in print,
So what is the experience like for you watching your granddaughters grow and become such lovely young ladies?
Oh, wow. It's a blessing upon a blessing. As a pastor, I used to tell the congregation, especially when Cam was born, I said, look, your pastor is going to be a kidnapper. Because I had 2 boys. So I was going to steal her, and she has yet to move in with us. So after 11 years. But to watch them grow and become these young ladies that they are with such great confidence, it's a real blessing.
Absolutely.
It's a real blessing.
Well, thank you so much for calling. We appreciate the call.
You're welcome. Y'all continue to be great and keep us smiling.
Thank you. There you go. Okay, this is Cam at 3 years old. Mommy, my bones are getting dirty. Why are your bones getting dirty? Because we're taking too long. Too long to what? To eat. You were hungry, huh? Oh, gosh, I tell you. So how much is the book? Where can they find the book?
The book is at twowittygirls.com. It's $25 plus shipping. But if you want to meet us at the First Fridays tomorrow night or Farmers Market Saturday morning, we will be there. It'll be $25 for the book.
And where is the First Fridays? Is it here in Norfolk?
Downtown Portsmouth.
Downtown Portsmouth.
Yes,
Okay.
both are
Okay.
downtown
And then
Portsmouth.
the farmers market is that Saturday morning.
Yes, Saturday morning.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Excellent. Cam, again, 3 years old. You're running around singing a made up song, ruining all my plans. 3 years old. Mom says, "Who is ruining all your plans?" Cam points to her parents. You two. What was it? Do you have any idea? Remember what it was that you wanted to do that you didn't get a chance to do?
Play with my stuffed animals.
Oh, is that what it was?
Instead, I had to wash my plate dishes. My plate dishes.
Now, Miss Cari, before bed, we say our prayers and our special prayers, which is a prayer request or a praise report. Cari, do you have any special prayers? Your dad asked you, and you said, "My special prayer is that Daddy don't ask me my special prayer while Mommy putting on my pajamas." I can't with you two. I can't. So what grade are you going into, Miss Cari?
5th grade.
5th grade. Oh, so this will be your last year? No, goes through last year at your school, right? Okay. And Miss Cam?
6th grade.
6th grade. So you're a middle schooler.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. What do you think about that?
I think it's great. Yeah.
You think? Are you nervous?
I think
Yes.
I know. I think I know why she's saying that it's great because I'm not gonna be there yet.
Oh, so she gets to go off on her own. So you guys get separated
Yes.
now. So what
For
do you
1
think
year.
about that? What do you think about that, Cari?
I don't really think it's that bad.
Why?
So then she doesn't. So then she don't have to blame me for taking her friends.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Well, Cam, what do you think about that?
Don't think too much about it.
You know, you're just kind of going on into your own thing and making your own friends
Yes.
and going into high school. What do you like to do the most?
I like getting money.
Getting money. Okay, so you think you want to be a business owner
Yes.
when you grow up? Really?
Yes.
What kind? What kind of business?
I don't know.
Don't know yet. Okay, that's fine because you know what? You got all the time to figure different things out and to try different things out. So, what are you learning from having the book and selling the book?
I'm learning how to be myself, as well as learn money more.
Okay.
Learn how to use money more.
Okay. You learn how to use it properly, how to save it, how to count it,
Yes.
how to save it, how to save it.
Yes.
And Miss Cari, what do you want to be when you grow up?
I'm not sure yet. I'm still thinking about it.
Still thinking about it. Do you have anything that you're kind of leaning towards that you like to do? What do you like to do?
I like cooking.
Oh, okay. What's your favorite? What do you cook?
Anything that my mom tells me to.
Oh, okay. Do you have a favorite? A favorite recipe or a favorite meal you cook?
No.
No?
No.
Is she a good cook?
Well, Cari's really interested in video games. She wants to be a YouTuber. So we did some research on how much they make. And she said, well, I guess I have to get a part-time job so I can afford my YouTube career. I said, okay. Yeah, so right now she's in the video game lane. That's what she wants to do. So we'll see how that goes.
So I have a question for the two of you. Do you fight?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, let's not say fight. Let's say argue. Do you
Yes.
argue with
Yes.
each other?
Yes.
Oh, okay. And do you work it out yourselves, or does mommy have to jump in and work it out for you?
Sometimes.
Sometimes we work it out by ourselves. Sometimes she has to help.
And sometimes and tell me what she does when she helps.
A lot of different things. Yeah. Sometimes she separates us. Sometimes she talks to us.
And
Yeah.
then other stuff.
What other stuff?
And then other stuff. Like what, Cari?
Like she like hit like pops us sometimes. Sometimes.
So the two of you, though, really need to learn how to not argue with each other as sisters,
Yes.
right? But you love each other.
Yes.
I have a sister too, so sisters sometimes don't agree. It's
Yes.
okay. It's okay. It is okay. So as you're watching them grow, what are you learning? Especially, and do you have to pull yourself out of therapy mode to be in mommy mode, or is it kind of goes together?
No, it doesn't go together. Nope.
Okay.
No. So sometimes their dad is more patient than I am. So I have to know that about myself. And sometimes I'm like, I just have to step back. I don't have the emotional capacity. He has a calmer voice and a calmer voice tone, and he can deal with some of the stuff. And then when I can, sit and talk to them about, they are arguing, I want them to think more for themselves. So. Sometimes when they argue, I just stay out of it. Unless there's a lot of noise. I'm like, wait a minute. I don't know what you're arguing about, but there's a lot of noise. I need y'all to bring the noise down so I can hear myself think. But so I definitely separate it. And,
Yeah, because I think a lot of people sometimes think that, especially for therapists, that you're always analyzing, but you actually are living.
Right, I'm living, and I don't analyze them or anyone else, but I do try to pay attention what their strengths are and what works better for them. Like Cari's a cuddler; she likes to feel just safe and connected. Camille's a thinker, and Camille likes freedom. So I know I have to give her a box. This is your box, and have at it whatever you're allowed to do in the box. So,
within the box.
Yeah. So I'm like, hey, you can do something between 5 and 8, but these are your options. You choose. So she likes her freedom. She likes to be a free thinker. But I just have to be able to navigate it. Yeah.
So let's see. Cari at 3 years old. We surprised Cari with the bounce house for her birthday party. And you said, my party, I get in first, then y'all. Weren't being selfish or anything, right?
No. I do remember that bounce house, though.
Oh, do you? Oh, did you have fun?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, one of the things that, I love, like I said, the humor of it. And even if you don't have children, just to think about little people at 2 and 3 and 4 years old saying these things are really brings out, the comfort level that you need to have. And I want to go back to that whole idea again of using humor sometimes, because I think I've watched people who are really, really stressed, or who are in really, really stressful situations, but they use humor to kind of go through it. And so I wonder if that's a coping mechanism, or is that a good way to just kind of let some of that stress go?
Yeah, I think it's both, right? We don't want to be too heavy in one area. Sometimes people will laugh at things that may be not really appropriate. Some people do that as a defense mechanism, but we have to incorporate laughter, and that's one of the reasons that the book is geared toward adults, right? And some people get it for their children. They say that children enjoy the illustrations and the look of the book, but it's also for adults to remind ourselves of just our childlike ways and maybe things our children did or grandchildren are doing now, and just remind ourselves that we can actually just exhale and just kind of think of some things in the moment, right? Yeah.
Yeah, because, life is too short to just be acting crazy.
Right.
I noticed in the book you give them chores.
Yes.
Is that an important thing for young people to have?
It is. And actually, I call it, do y'all remember what I call it? Tell y'all to do your what? Starts with an R. Do you remember?
Responsibilities.
Yeah, I call it responsibilities. So I'll tell them, you have your responsibilities to do. And it's really just about them being a part of the household and them doing what they need to do. So I don't try to make it too, they don't have what I had as a child in terms of, the chores. We called it chores when I was growing up. But they do have things that you need to do that's helping around the house, learning how to do different stuff. Try to make stuff fun, but Yeah, in the book, there's a picture of them folding towels and folding washcloths and things like that when they were 3, I think. They were about 3 years old. And so, they back on responsibilities, because you have a responsibility in the household and to yourself. Yeah.
So when you said earlier before we brought the girls out that you were looking at that space of raising 2 girls,
right,
and creating sisterhood, how do you think you're doing?
Well, my goal has always been to do the best I can, right? And I want them to, they're not going to agree with everything that I say. There's something I'm going to say and do that they're just going to remember when they're in their childhood. But my goal is to keep their book about their mama to a pamphlet, right? Just a 3-fold. We're not trying to get to a chapter or chapter book about my mama, about their relationship. But it's going to be at least a trifold, because they're not going to like some things that I say and do, and they're not going to understand it. But I think we're doing pretty well. Have some open conversations with them, especially with Camille, because she's very intuitive with her emotions and feelings and things like that. So her and I will have some heart-to-heart conversations sometimes. And she was really good. I had posted before. Camille was she was able to write. So I would say maybe kindergarten and 1st grade, and Camille wrote me a note, and she wrote on the back of her baby picture of her and I. And she said, "Mommy, I know sometimes we make each other mad, but we can work it out."
Oh, wow.
And I thought that was so courageous of her, one, to write it down. But I said, you know what? Instead of me focusing on whatever it means, I felt good that she felt comfortable to share that with me, because she could have told her dad, or she could have kept it to herself, but for her to give it to me said that, you know what? We can have hard conversations, and that she was so young to do that. And I thought it was very poetic that she wrote it on the back of her baby picture of her and I. So I said, you know what? It's going well. It's going well.
That is great. Talk a little bit about how we have to take the time to listen to one another.
Yeah, we do. And I tell people all the time, we can't be afraid of hard conversations. And how I define hard conversations is that something that's unexpected, unpleasant, and we're not sure what we're going to get from it. And that's what makes a conversation hard, right? But we have to be able to do that. And we do it with asking questions, listening, taking it in, taking a breath, and not being so focused on outcome and problem solving. So like when Camille wrote me that note, it wasn't about what it was that bothered her. I was like, let me give her a hug. I'm like, that was very courageous of you to do that. And I'm just going to focus on that to continue to build the relationship. So we have to be able to have these conversations.
So ladies, we only got a few minutes left. Actually, we got 1 minute left. So there we go. When is the next book signing again? Tell us where we can find you.
Yes, Friday night we'll be at First Fridays in downtown Portsmouth, and Saturday morning we'll be at the Farmers Market in downtown Portsmouth.
Okay. And what would you say to young people very quickly about if they want to write a book or to do something like you're doing now?
Don't give up.
Don't give up. Okay. And Cam?
Keep pushing.
And keep pushing forward. That's fantastic. Oh, I'm so proud of you two ladies. That is Cari, who is 10, and Cam, who is 11, and their mom, Charese Josie. Thank you so very much for joining us, as always. We really, really appreciate it. And I want to thank all of our listeners for joining us here on Another View. Now, if you'd like to hear this show again, or share it with a friend, or tell all your friends to listen in, you can go to our website, anotherviewradio.org, and you can download the podcast. And while you're there, please sign up for our eView newsletter. It's a once-a-week reminder of upcoming shows. And be sure to tell your friends and family about Another View, because we'd love to have them join our family of listeners. Now, next week on Another View, Dr. Eric Claville will be here with the Claville Report, and we're going to take an in-depth look at what's been going on in politics. And then later, filmmaker Booker T. Madison will join us to talk about his latest film. You don't want to miss that conversation. Now, I've been named to the Virginia Humanities Board, so next week I'll be in Charlottesville for our fall meeting. But no worries, you're in excellent hands as producer Lisa Godley takes over the host chair. Our theme music is an original composition created especially for Another View by Jay Sennett. Lisa Godley is our show producer. Jordan Christie is our audio engineer, and Dr. Barry Graham answered our phones. I'm Barbara Ham Lee. Have a safe and joyful Labor Day holiday weekend, and let's get together again next Thursday at noon for Another View.
Support comes from Hampton Roads Community Foundation, partnering with donors from all walks of life to improve southeastern Virginia through grants, scholarships, and leadership initiatives. Learn more at hamptonroadscf.org.